Hi everyone, my name is Santo Sessa and I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending December 8th. Now if you watched the other videos this past week, you know that my dad's not here to film right now, so you guys are going to be stuck with me for a little bit, but let's get right into it. So we know that supply has been an issue across the board. There's not enough supply anywhere really. And we know that demand has been increasing across the board. A lot of people are trying to buy right now. What does that do? That puts a lot of pressure on the few listings that do come on the market, and that in turn raises prices. Now I'm going to show you something interesting that's been happening in York Region, and I'm curious to know from you guys, what do you think is going to happen in January? Last January was one of the first Januaries where we got off to a running start. It was, I believe, the first or second weekend, things just started to really pick up. I'm curious, do you think that's going to happen this year? Do you think we're going to see an influx of listings? Do you think we're going to see buyers maybe calm down? Leave it in the comment section below and let us know. But for now, let's get to the numbers. If you want to talk to us anything at all related to real estate, we've made it really easy to do that. In the description below, you'll see a link to a calendar. Schedule a time that works best for you, and we'll make sure that we're free at that time so we can talk about whatever you want to discuss real estate related. Let's get into the numbers. So for York Region, we're going to start with condos. Average sold price for a condo in York Region last week was $710,000. Last week we sold 55 units and 2 of them sold at $1 million or more. Now this chart here shows 12 months worth of data, and you can clearly see that average price has been rising throughout the year. Again, we are up 29% from prices last year, and I made this note for the Toronto condo segment, but York Region condos are doing the same thing. The gap is actually widening quite quickly versus prices that we were at last year. Sold at list price or more, we're sitting at 76% of units selling at list price or more. That usually means a lot of competition. That usually means offer dates. Last year that number was only 28%, and from September 8th here we can see that that percentage has been slowly creeping up, meaning there's a lot more competition now in the condo space. Listings, we've been talking about the supply issue for a while. Not enough listings. You can see it here. The blue is last year, orange is this year. You can see we've had virtually every week has been substantially less listings than we had at the same time last year. Days on market, average days on market is sitting at 13. I tell you guys, take that with a grain of salt, because offer dates do extend the amount of time that a house stays on the market, and we are currently sitting at 0.6 months of inventory, so less than a month, just over 2 weeks of inventory. So getting into the Vaughan detached market, we have average sold price of $1,896,000. We sold 32 of them last week, with 11 of them selling over $2 million. Year over year, we're up 24% from where we were the same time last year, and sold at list price or more 75%. 3 out of 4 homes most likely selling at offer date, selling. A lot of competition on these homes. Last year that number was only 20%, and we could see that sales did drop substantially from where they were last year at this time. Interesting to note though is that listings, we have 130 active listings currently, but listings are going up. For the past 3 weeks we've seen a rise in listings, and we are over where we were at the same time last year. So I assume things might be slowing down the next couple of weeks for the holidays, but it's going to be interesting to see if January things pick back up. Everyone wants more listings. You guys probably want more listings, because that means less competition for one home, more homes on the market. Prices will hopefully kind of normalize a bit. With that said, we're sitting at 0.9 months of inventory, less than a month of inventory still, with the average days on market being 9. For Richmond Hill, we have an average sold price of $1,777,000, I should say. 23 homes sold last week, with 5 of them selling over $2 million. Year over year, we are up 18% from where we were last year, and that's including selling 3 less homes this week at over $2 million than we did same time last week or last year. Sold at list price or more is 61%. Competitive, not as competitive as Vaughan. Last year that number was 37. We can see that sales are actually quite lower year over year from where we were at the same time last year. Listings, we're at the same amount that we did last year. We beat it by 1 this week, but I'd be curious to see if it's going to follow the same trend as Vaughan in the sense that we're going to have more listings. We're currently sitting at 149 active listings at the time of making this chart. Months of inventory is sitting at 1.5, so a little less competitive than a lot of the other regions. 16 days on market, that's the average for a property days on market. So, Markham detached, we're currently sitting at an average price of $1,939 for an average detached home in Markham. 28 of them sold last week, with 9 of them selling over $2 million. Year over year, we are up 32% from the price that we were at last year, and we had sold 7 more this week at over $2 million than we did at the same week last year. Sold at list price or more, 71% are selling them at list price or more. That means a lot of competition, same amount of competition roughly as there would be in Vaughan. Last year that number was 39%, so definitely a lot less. Sales, we can see sales are lower than they were last year. But listings, again, same thing that happened in Vaughan, where we are seeing a very big uptick in listings. We had 16 more listings from the week prior. And so again, it's going to be really interesting to see whether, I expect the next couple of weeks, just for the holidays, things might slow down. But in January, are we going to start off at a full sprint? We'll see. 128 active listings currently at the time we made this chart in Markham. And we're sitting at 1.1 months of inventory in Markham, with the average days on market being 11. If you want to see the way that months of inventory is moving, that's what this chart shows here. Months of inventory for Vaughan detached went down. Months of inventory for Richmond Hill and Markham both went up. Months of inventory for York Region condos stayed the same. Those are the numbers for York Region. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.